Got that? So when you code, right, it's actually very useful to explain what you're trying to do, so that people, when they see your code, right, they can understand what you're trying to achieve. Okay, so in this case, I'm just telling the other people, okay, I'm printing the string hello world. That's it. That's all I'm doing. But for more complex code, right, you actually need to include more documentation. Like, okay, this part I'm going to add this list to that function, like that, so that it's a lot clearer for other people to understand your code. Okay. So everyone clear about the max function, right? Any questions so far? If not, we'll move on. Okay. So I'm going to introduce you, right, to lists. Okay, what are lists? So I'm going to comment lists are a type of data storage that holds a number of data. So what do we use lists for? How do we define a list in Python? So let's say I want to create a list, right? I just type my underscore list is equals to square brackets. Okay, simple, right? So for list, right, list is actually defined by square brackets. If you see over here, right, print hello world, that's actually defined by round brackets. So Python has a very like rigid syntax in the sense that whenever you use print, you have to use round brackets, and whenever you use list, you have to use square brackets. Okay, so let's just add some data to our list. Okay, so let's add like 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have created a list with 1, 2, 3 inside. And then how do you see your list? So the next line, print my list. Then you play the code, and you should see 1, 2, 3 over here. Okay, everyone got that?
Can I store strings in my list?
Can. Let me show you how to. Okay, so I will add a string in the list called my string. And then I play again, it should come up my string below. Okay, Rachel got that? So lists,
yeah,
lists are mutable. So that means that mutable, right, means that list, you can change the contents of the list at any time. Let's say I want to change my my string, right, to Rachel string. You can do that anytime. And then play, you see Rachel string. Okay? Once you got that, thumbs up.
I cannot. It's giving me my list is not defined.
Okay, can you copy and paste your code over to the chat?
Yeah, I'm facing the same error.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, I think, okay, let me take a look. Okay, I think I will stop my sharing, and then you can share your screen and take a look at what's happening.
Oh, Juliana, you try removing the space before and after the equal sign. That might help.
Oh, it's an equal sign.
Oh yeah, it's not a dash, it's an equal sign.
Smaller.
Okay, so right, what Juliana is
Okay.
facing, right, is actually a syntax error whereby she's using dash instead of equals. Yeah. So whenever you use whenever you assign a list, right, you have to use an equal sign. Otherwise, it won't work. Yeah. Okay, can I invite Kelvin, right, to actually comment a bit on what we're doing here? Kelvin, are you there? Kelvin. Oh, okay. So right, okay, I'm just going to comment a bit on what we're doing here, right? Is that we are having a list of tuples over here. So a list of tuples, right, of integer first and string.
What is a tuple?
Okay, a tuple, right, is out of the scope of our session today. But I just mentioned it first so that you know that there's such a thing exists, okay? I don't want to like go cover too much today. Okay, Raj says my tuple object is not callable. Is this the error you're facing? Okay, copy and paste your code over here. So whenever you face an error, right, you have a few options. Number one, right, copy and paste the error into Google, and then you'll see some help from Stack Overflow. But in this case, right, since we are doing it in a group, we can actually discuss and see what's the problem. Okay, Raj, right, you're missing a comma. So between 1, 2, 3 and Rachel's string, you have to have a comma in between. Yep. So don't worry about this because this is actually very common errors. Okay, once Raj give us the okay, we'll move ahead. Okay, awesome. So the next thing that I want to go through is dictionaries. Okay, never mind. Dictionary another time. Because we're planning to have a series for this. So dictionary another time. We'll go through functions first. Okay, functions. So I'm going to comment functions. Okay, what are functions? Basically, functions, right, is a block of code that you're going to reuse very frequently. Okay, so let's say I want to print hello world 10 times. Okay, so I will define def print hello world, then colon. So right, after the define print hello world statement, we have to tell the Python what we want this function to achieve. So I just type here print hello world. Okay. Oh, I'm missing a quotation here. Okay. So this function, right, basically will print the hello world once. Okay. And then so let's try it out here. Let's put our newly created function to the test. Oh, there's an error here. Invalid syntax. I think I'm missing a bracket. Yep, that's it. Okay, everyone up to this step, thumbs up. Okay, Yabis need some time. Okay, we'll give you about like 2-3 minutes to just try it out first. Let me know if you have any errors or what. Just type in the chat. So a function, right, is actually used to define a block of code that you will use frequently again and again. Okay, so instead of like writing out the code every single time you want to use the function, you just call the function. And calling the function, right, is basically doing this print hello world. You got that? Okay, so the 2 minutes, just take 2 minutes to just digest all this. I know it can be a bit overwhelming. And if you have any issues, any need help, right, just type in the chat or just say it out. Raj, all good? Nathan, all good? Amma? Okay, awesome. Juliana? Jules?
Yeah,
All good, right?
I'm okay.
Okay. Do you need to ask Kelvin now? Who's already? Oh, Kelvin is a master programmer, like, don't mess with him. Okay, so we're going to move on. So over here, right, you print hello world. So you first, right, you actually define the function. So I'm defining the function here. Define the function. Then, so you name the function. So you name the function print hello world. And then here, right, you're actually telling the function what it needs to do. Okay, so let's try to call our function by print hello world. And then the rest, right, you can actually just comment it. So to comment, right, you can press Control 1. Let me type Control 1 here. So what I want you to do now, right, is to press Control 1, right, to comment everything else and just leave only the function. Got that? Okay. So once you've done that, right, just press play and you should see hello world on the bottom right. Okay, thumbs up once you got it. Okay, we'll let the others figure out a while. Raj, okay? No. What's the problem?
I can't see hello world at the bottom.
Okay, copy and paste your code in the chat.
I keep having issues.
Okay, you're missing this final statement. All good? So whenever you define a function, right, you have to remember to call it first. If not, nothing will happen. Okay, awesome. Okay, next, right, I'm going to show you how to print the hello world 10 times. A bit bo liao lah, huh? But just a basic introduction to loops. Okay, so what I'm going to do, right, is to create a new line and write for I in range 10. Then remember the colon. And one very important thing, right, is remember to have an indent. So this empty space, right, is called an indent. So whenever you define a loop, right, you need to have an indent in the next line. Okay, then once you have this, for I in range 10, print hello world. And you press play. Oh, wait, let me see Jules stuff. Jules, do you see hello world in your bottom right? In the I button console?
I don't. The output just ends at the.
Okay, can you copy and paste your code over here?
Yeah, my code is correct.
Sometimes the code runs, right, but there's no output. So that it means there's an error. So just copy and paste your code over here and have a look. Okay, nothing seems wrong. So when you press play, you don't see hello world.
No.
Okay. Okay, let me get our TAs to help you with this, okay? While I continue with the session. Okay, Kelvin, can you help Juice? Thanks, man.
Thanks. Fine.
Okay, let's move on for the rest of us, right? Okay, so what we're doing here, right, is a loop for I in range 10. So this is means that means I define a variable I here. In range means that I only want this loop, right, to run 10 times. Understand? Okay, so let's see what happens when I play this code. There you have it. We have 10 hello worlds. Let me know if you can get this. Maybe? Got it? Okay, so right, that's basically loops. You simply want the code, right, to do the same thing 10 times. So if I change this to 100, guess what will happen, Yabi?
You will print it 100 times.
Exactly. So let's see what happens. Yeah, indeed, we have 100 hello worlds here. We're not going to count how many hello worlds are. We know it's 100, okay? Okay. So, so we're going to take a break here because I think it has been quite a lot of content. Okay, we're going to take a 5-minute break here. And then once we come back, right, we'll go through the mini project. Okay, 5 minutes start now. If you have any problems, right, just copy and paste your code here and ask. And the TAs or myself will help you. All right, is everyone back? If you are, right, can you just switch on your video? Okay, we have one more very special guest. 杰哥，红杰，杰哥。So, hi, Hongjie.
Hello.
Hello, Jager. So, Hongjie, right, is actually my long lost brother. Because a lot of people say that our names are like have the same Jie, and we look like the same also. Obviously, Hongjie is a lot more handsome lah. So let's be fair to him. Yeah, okay. Anyway, okay. So Hongjie, right, Hongjie is actually he's Dr. Hongjie. Okay, he just graduated from his PhD program, and then now he's working at Razer. Yeah.
Hi.
So the rest of these people around here, they are my friends, my sister, church friends, etc.
Oh,
Yeah. So, okay, we'll continue on with the second half of the lesson, which you are in time for. This is actually an application in computer vision. Okay, so I'm going to share my slides. All right. So these are the computer vision techniques I'm going to share. Okay. So what is computer vision? Computer vision is basically a way, right, that we teach computers to see. So, if you all have heard of facial recognition, please raise your hand. Yeah, it's all over the iPhones, whatever, okay? And then, computer vision, right, is basically a technique that allows us to identify objects like faces, like cars in this case. So what we're going to go through, right, is this technique called the intersection over union. Okay, so what is intersection over union? Let me just start from the top. Hey, if you see over here, right, there's this picture of a van, of a lorry. And then there are 3 red rectangles that identify where the lorry is in the picture. So you can see that the lorry, right, is actually like in the center of the frame. And then after this non-max suppression, you get only just 1 rectangle. So what you're doing here, right, is that you're actually reducing the 3 rectangles to just 1. And how do you do that? We do that using a technique called intersection over union, IOU. Not borrow money, I don't want to borrow money to anyone. It's just intersection of 2 rectangles. Okay, so the name itself is very self-explanatory. It's actually intersection divided by the union. So intersection is this rectangle over here that is overlapping 2 rectangles. Okay, let me just annotate to be clearer. Okay, so intersection, right, is this rectangle over here. And then the union, right, is basically the entire area of the 2 rectangles. Okay, clear at this point? Right. So next slide. How do I clear this? How do I clear my annotation? On my Zoom screen, clear. Undo. Okay, undo. Okay. So the next slide, we have 2 boxes over here. So box 1 and box 2. Okay, so the intersection is basically the overlap of the 2 rectangles. Then what we wanted to achieve, right, is actually find the intersection. So we want to find, right, box 1 plus box 2 minus away the intersection, and you get the union. So when you add 2 rectangles together, you have to minus away the intersection. Okay. The next thing, right, is that we define a box, right, by using its 2 corners. So upper left, over here, upper left is the x1 and y1. Upper left. Annotate. Okay, this is the upper left, and this is the lower right. Okay, And we want to find out the area of this intersection. And how do we do that? This is actually, I want to say first, right, that this is actually quite a challenging problem. And you may not get this in the first try, but it's okay. Because coding is like compound interest. The more you do it, right, the better you get it, and you get at it, and the more like you are able to solve more and more challenging questions. Okay, so so let's move on. Okay, undo my annotation first. Okay, but first, right, you have to think of the number of cases over here. Okay, if anyone is lost, right, just let me know. Okay, okay, right? Okay, so the number of cases over here, right, is that there are 3 cases over here. Actually there are 4 lah, but we just highlight the 3 first. Okay, the intersection over this is the case number 1. Case 1. So there is an intersection. The box 1, right, is higher than the box 2, and there's an intersection over here. Okay, this is case number 2, where the box 1, right, is a lot smaller, and part of it, right, is totally inside this box 2. Okay, and case number 3, whereby okay, I can see lah. This is the third case. So we must account for every single case. Like you cannot just think of one instance. Let's say the previous slide, right? You can't just think of one single case, because we have to account for all the different cases, and then this is one specific case. So we have to think of all the possible permutations. So the next step, right? We want to find out what is the length, and what is the width of this rectangle called intersection. So how do we find that? We basically have to use the max function. Okay, so this is where the max function comes in. All right, so okay, so the max, right? Let's say we have this xi2. So we have this xi2. We want to take this xi2, right, and it represents this length.
Dude,
Okay, yes.
can you change the color of your annotation?
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
squinting my eye. Sorry. Let's see what you're drawing.
Okay, let me figure out how to do that.
You can change it to blue or red.
Okay. Give me a second, let me change.
Yeah. In
Yeah.
that, there is an option to change. Yeah, okay, thank you, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I clear my annotation first. Okay. Thanks, JB. All right, so you get you have your xi1, and that represents this length. Okay, you have xi1, right, which represents this length. Xi2, sorry. Okay, this is xi2. Okay, then what do you need, right, to get this length? Juice, what do you need?
xi2 minus xi1. No.
Correct.
Minus
It's correct. It's correct.
xi1.
Yeah. So xi1, right, belongs here. So this is xi1. Okay. All right. So what you need to do, right, is simply you subtract xi1 from xi2. Yeah, simple, right? xi xi2 minus xi1. Simple, right? Okay. And then you will get the width W equals to xi2 minus xi1. Then the next thing, right, you want to get is the length. You want to get this. So length is equals to Raj, how do you use how do you get L? Jingwei, how do you get L?
Can you use yi1 minus yi2?
yi2 minus yi1. Sorry, yi1, sorry, yi1. Yeah, it's exactly it. So it's exactly yi1 minus yi2. Yeah. So that is how you find the length and width of this intersection rectangle. Okay, so we have completed our first step, which is to find the intersection area. And I think at this note, right, I will end the session and ask you all to think about this over the weekend. Okay, so I've introduced you how to find the area of the intersection, and then I'll leave it to you, right, to think about how to do that, how to code it up in Spider. Yeah. So what?
So difficult, this homework. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have actually given you whatever you need, right? All the basics you need to be able to code this out in Spider. So the homework, right, will be to code this out over the weekend. Yeah, okay, I'll just run through the template quickly. Okay, let me just go to the template. Okay, template is over here. So it's called the IOU algo. Okay, I've actually sent this to the WhatsApp chat later on. No, just now, sorry. I've actually sent this to the WhatsApp group just now. Okay, so let me just go through this template first. Okay, so define a function, IOU, intersection over union. Then we have two arguments, which is box 1 and box 2. Okay, so box 1, right, is basically the coordinates of the rectangle, the first rectangle. Box 2, coordinates of the second rectangle. Then what you need to do, right, is simply complete this part. So xi1, right, is actually the intersections rectangles coordinates, the vertices. So it's basically the corners of the rectangle lah. So what you need to do, right, is simply write out these 7 lines of code, and then you should have your intersect area, inter area. Okay, all good. So I'll leave this as homework for you over the weekend. Think about this and try out coding and see whether you can get the inter area or not. All right. So I'll leave it to you. Any questions?
Could you share the recording of this?
Sure, no problem. But I actually started recording a bit late, like 5 minutes into the session. So apologies first. Yeah. But I will actually upload this onto YouTube and then share the link with you all. Yeah. Okay, so if no further questions, I will end this session here. Any questions, right? You can type it out in the WhatsApp chat or what. Okay? Okay, have a good weekend, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks for the session.
No problem.
Thank you for your time.
No problem. Hope you all enjoy coding. It can be very frustrating. Yeah. Okay. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.